title of this video is called Telling Joe Rogan the Truth About Gun Deaths in America.
And then the guy stands up, he's like, yo, what is your problem, what are you doing? And he's kind of angling towards his gun, but he's not, he hasn't gone for it yet. The other guy has a gun too, the guy who came in to rob the place, but he hasn't pointed his gun at anyone, he hasn't shot anyone. So at that point, theoretically speaking, you could argue that's just mutual combat.
Yeah.
Right, so which one can I shoot? Who's actually endangering who?
Right.
Right? So I ended up shooting the guy who came to rob the place. The problem is, I shot him in the back too. But that was from the standpoint of when I decided to shoot, I know how to shoot. So I dropped 4 or 5 rounds just naturally into the guy. He's like, oh shit, he turns around because he's getting shocked as I'm shooting him. So he turns to run.
So is it like a laser that sets off like a haptic feedback?
Yeah, so you're wearing a vest, right? It's called a stress vest. So you're wearing a stress vest, and so it sends out a laser every time you hit that person, and it shocks you.
And does it shock you like a taser? Or does it shock?
It's as bad as you want it to be.
Really? So you could get it to the point where it immobilizes your body?
I don't think it gets that high. I think it gets to the point where you're like, okay, get this thing off me.
Have you ever been tased?
No.
I haven't either, but I've watched people get tased, and I'm curious.
I'm not.
Because some people can just fucking handle it,
They
man.
can. But are they usually high?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I think sometimes they're high.
But how does that stop your body from shutting off due to the...
It's raining outside. 5th of December 2024. Let's get back into the video.
Electricity.
That is true. That I don't know.
Because I've seen people just get zapped and they just stand there.
Yeah,
and
like
they just pull the shit right out of the body.
Now, I did see this one video guy did that. The cop was being very patient with the guy. And he zapped him, nothing. And he's like, all right. And he zapped him again, he dropped.
Really?
So,
Second time he dropped.
So I don't know what part,
Yeah.
I don't understand. That's outside of my wheelhouse, honestly.
My friend Dana White, he went for one of his shows. They all got tasered, and they felt like their body just shut off, like they just fell over.
See, the funny thing about it is I had the stress vest on too. So when I was doing it, so the whole time I'm like, I don't want to experience this.
Yeah.
So
that.
yeah.
So if he hit you, he turned and hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious of what that's like.
Say, have you got mouldy walls, infestation, leaking windows or pipes, or even a faulty boiler which your landlord is refusing to fix? Well, it turns out if you're a council or housing association tenant and your landlord is not responsive, you are eligible for a potentially substantial compensation payout. And all you've got to do is ask. Landlords are abusing.
Hi, I'm Kevin Michalowski, editor of Concealed Carry Magazine. I'm here with Jeff Quayle from SetCan and the Stress Vest folks, and they have a new system, the Aries it's called, Jeff?
Yeah, that's correct. We partnered with Augmented Technologies to develop the arm shocking system. It's a brainchild of actually their company, and we built it for them, but it's just a phenomenal product. Oh, so imagine that you just got hit in the dominant arm, and then you can deal with the situation that you would on the street.
All right, and so, thanks.
Try reaching for it with your dominant hand.
No, I don't want to. It hurt really bad. That was about 15 times as bad as the stress vest on the belly. That was solid right through here.
What's really unique about it is it can be integrated with the stress vest system, or it can be standalone, and you'll see here like we're going to do with the remote. But what it does is it's going to force you to bend your arm up into your body so that it will stop from shocking. Every time you try to reach for your gun, it's gonna punish you for doing that.
The Aries system forces you to use your non-dominant hand. As long as your arm is straight and in a shooting position, you're going to get shocked once the system is engaged. And then you got to get this arm up onto your chest and engage with your non-dominant hand. So we're up and we're on target. Jeez, I can't even straighten my arm out. So we got to come up and fight and get this arm up out of... Wow, we don't even get 15 degrees here, and it's hitting me.
Yeah, I'm curious of what that's like. I'm sure it's horrible.
I mean, I'll put it like this. When I shot him, he yelled. So, I'm assuming it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, from that perspective, I still ended up shooting him in the back.
Now, is that legal? Because you are not in danger. You're just acting almost like as law enforcement. Or as protection.
You see, he's arming and harming, but the man already gets shot. Did he die? I mean, when you shoot someone in the back, I thought that was a I'm not sure. Let's see.
Oh, in that particular case, once we broke it down, my shooting was justified, right? But it just goes to show you how thin that line is between justified and unjustified.
And it doesn't it also, like, well, in that situation, was there cameras involved?
Yeah.
Because it's in a store.
Yeah.
But what if you're in a school, like in a school situation? Like if you walked in and shot that guy who was killing those kids and you shot him in the back, clearly you'd be justified.
Yeah, you'd be justified
right?
at that because that's in defense of the third party.
Okay.
Right. So at that point, all bets are off. You know, like whether I shoot you in the back, front, side. But I guess the argument that could be made in my particular situation is he was retreating. Right, because he was running out. That's why I shot him, because he turned to run away, and so it was basically. It happens really quickly, right? And the split times between my trigger pull pretty fast, so it's like bang, 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 and you know that time period he can turn and catch one in the back. But you get an aggressive enough prosecutor, that's the argument they made. If I was a prosecutor, that's the argument I would make.
You know about the case in Austin, where a guy was not charged for a long period of time, but it was at one of the protests during the pandemic, and this guy apparently was military, and he was an Uber driver. He was Uber driving.
I do remember
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So he pulled down this road. I think he was following his GPS, and he pulled down this road, and all of a sudden he's faced with the people that were blocking the road.
Yeah.
And this guy pulls an AK-47 out and points it at him.
Yeah.
And
he shoots him.
He's a veteran. Yeah. I mean, he's used to being in live combat situations, and he just pulls out his gun and shoots him.
Did he get charged?
He did get charged.
Did he get convicted?
I don't know.
Okay,
Let's find out what the status on that was, because all of my friends that are law enforcement or military were furious that he got charged, because this guy literally pointed the gun at his face.
Yeah.
Like he's standing there pointing the gun. What are you going to do? It's like, how do you know if the guy's going to kill you or not? Like, it's unreasonable to point a gun at a person in that scenario.
But you know what that speaks to?
What?
Education.
Education.
Dude, like I in my videos, I say this time and time again. We have over 400 million guns in this country, man. You're not getting away from the guns. You're not.
And if you take them away from legal people that have them legally,
the only people who are going to have them,
are the people that have them illegally.
Exactly. And so, if we understand that this is the country that we live in, we have a Second Amendment, we understand the culture in this country, why would we not spend just even a decent amount of resources on a federal level, and let's say local level, to teach people the dynamics involved with firearm ownership?
Let me ask you this. One of the things about people that are pro Second Amendment is they don't want to change any of the restrictions or the way it's set up right now. They want to keep it exactly the way it is in terms of what kind of background checks exist. They don't want to add any sort of additional checks, any sort of additional restrictions. Why is it so easy to get a gun license?
Because efficiency.
But why is it so hard to get a driver's license?
Because people suck at driving.
But don't people suck at shooting?
Some do. A lot of people do.
A lot of people do.
The difference, though, too, is we're talking about a constitutional right versus a privilege.